So for step 19, we're going to attach the gearbox to the back end of the roll cage, and we just need those 3 screws. Now, what's interesting is, you notice how this is shaped. If you think of the Frog or Blackfoot, those cars, this is kind of how the gearbox is placed in the chassis. And it's interesting because with this car, it's reversed. So the motor's actually fully at the back, and the gearbox is the main drive shafts, etc., are all facing forward. So we'll go ahead and attach this now with the 3 screws. So we can see that the longer screw is actually going to be one that fits inside of here and fits through that empty spot that we had that we didn't put any screws in. We're going to put that into that hole. So that's in. Maybe I'll screw it in just a bit, just so that it's holding a little bit. And then we're going to use the MB3 to attach to the bottom of the roll cage and go through into that metal bracket that we put on. And again, I'll just temporarily screw it in a bit. And then we're going to use the tapping screw down at the bottom, which is going to go through here and into this bottom bracket, which we actually never fully finished attaching to the chassis. You see that with the plastic on the roll bar? So we'll actually screw that guy in. Okay, so that roll bar part is on, and then this will finish screwing into the rest of the chassis. Yep. And then, of course, this bottom one. Okay, so there is this side of the gearbox attached to everything. And so now we can move on to step 20, which is now using the other screws on the other side to attach the gearbox to the chassis and the roll bar. So for step 20, we're going to attach the other side of the gearbox, but we're also going to put on another body mount. So we've got our two tapping screws, a washer, and that body mount. So first off, let's get the other side of the gearbox in place. So as we did in the other side, we're going to need to attach that roll bar to that bracket we put on much earlier in, can't even remember what step it was now, but we're going to now secure this securely. Okay, so now the roll bar is secure. So then we grab the other screw, and that's the one that's going to fit on the other side as we did previously. This is going to have to go, well, let's try it this way. This has to now go through. We'll get it there. And into that hole. So that we can attach the other side of the gearbox to the chassis. I'm just going to make sure the other side is secure. Which it is. So the gearbox is now securely attached to the chassis. So what we have left to do now is we've got to put the pin, and you can see here it shows note direction. So the hole is going to be perpendicular to the, the horizontal of the car. So we're going to put that pin into that first little hole. Put the washer on, and it's going to go here. And with this, we're going to use our handy dandy wrench. So I'm going to do this off camera. It's a little awkward with the camera in the way. So I'll do that and then we'll come back. Okay, so I have tightened down the pin, and the hole and everything is in the correct position. So that means we are finished now with step 20. So we can move on to step 21, which you can see is the rear axles. And just like with the Frog and the Blackfoot and the ORV, it's got that same rubber boot. So we're going to need to cut that into shape, get the drive shafts, the bearings, and put on the rear trailing arms. So I'll just get all the pieces together and we'll start building this step.